Hi, little birds. It's your girl, Jailyn, here again. Oh, so what are we going to talk about today? I don't know. I didn't know. I like to do English accent with my kids, and they really laugh at me. No, I'm just kidding. That won't be what I'm doing because that would be. I'm not an actor. Well, I tried to be at one time, but I'm not going to be an actor, okay? Um, that is not my life goal in life. I'm I would love it, but I don't think I have the talent. You gotta have you gotta have the talent and the look, and yeah, I don't know if I have either, but you know. Today I wanted to talk about one of my friends. Kind of reminded me on a topic I've kind of touched on in a few videos. Not really addressed it fully, but it's how I came to find out I was transgender. And I think it's different for everybody, but we do have a lot of common threads that we could all piece together and see that, we do have a lot in common, but I don't see a lot of videos out there that transgender women put out saying, hey, this is how I came to find out that I was transgender, which is important because I not all of us are like Jazz Jennings, where from the age of 4 we're like, Mom, Dad, I'm a girl, okay? I wish it would happen like that, but it doesn't. It definitely doesn't, and that is the case for me. I mean, so growing up, I always felt different. It was always this nagging feeling that I knew something was there, but I didn't exactly know how to explain it. I just definitely did not connect with the boys at all. All the friends that I had that were boys were very few and far in between. And I had a lot of friends that were girls. And so I liked doing things with the girls. And one of the things was like jump rope. I liked hopscotch, um, softball. Some of the other things that they would do that the boys would not do, and then in turn I would get made fun of for it and picked on, and it was relentless. Like, oh, you throw like a girl, and other such things like that. And it was just ridiculous. I remember. I even remember. I think I was about 6. I my my mom was painting her nails at the time, and I asked her to paint mine. So I went to kindergarten with my nails painted, and even then in kindergarten, they were like, "Oh, that's so girly. Why are you wearing nail polish?" And all I knew is that I liked it. It made me happy, and then in turn I got torn down because I was doing something that made me happy. And I remember several instances where, I snuck things out of my mom's drawers or closets, and, when we were alone, I would wear them around, and, for somehow, it was always when I was alone, and which was a lot because I didn't like going out. And probably a lot of that had to do with my being comfortable out in public and how I felt about myself, you know. So I didn't like going out, so I'd be home a lot. And there was a few times that I snuck mom's clothes, wore them. It made me very happy. I loved it. Um, I even snuck my sister's clothes, which she's 10 years younger, so they didn't exactly fit right. Same with mom's. Was, of course, an adult at the time, and they didn't exactly fit me well. And, one of the earliest memories I can remember that, you know, I felt, well, feeling different, but I felt happy at that time was, I was probably 4, and there's even a picture of me somewhere in some picture book, I think, of it. But me and my brother would go like this pretend shopping, and there'd be a mom and a dad, and of course we had this very curly wig that was like, the big hair of the 80s. It was crazy, and I would always wear this wig, and I loved wearing that wig. And when we would do the pretend shopping, and we even had a purse that I would carry around, and it made me feel special. It made me feel happy inside that, you know, I got to dress up like this. And, you know, growing up, I always got told, oh no, you need to have the G.I. Joe, you need to have the Transformers, you need to have the Legos, the Connects. It was all these things that, throughout my childhood at least was labeled boy. And if you were a boy, you had those things. And because I even remember several shows that I liked that, I would mention to friends and they'd be like, oh, why do you like that show? And one of them was like Care Bears. I loved the Care Bears. I loved My Little Pony. Or this one was a really short one that didn't last very long, but it was called Snorkels, and they had like a little tube on top of their head. It was really cute. And these are some of the these are all points that really identify for me that I was different and I didn't fit the gender norm. And it really came out when I became a teen and really exponentially went upon itself. And I remember I got a babysitting job. I had babysat for several years, and one of the people I babysat for, they really paid me really well, surprisingly. But he was a doctor, and I was just barely learning to drive. I think I had my learner's permit, and a couple of times I drove out to the store, like the dollar store. It wasn't anything big like Walmart, but it was the dollar store, and I bought a few feminine items. I was like, because I had this desire to wear the clothes, but I knew I would get made fun of. But so I got like panties, bras, things like that, and there's a few clothing items, but mostly the lingerie type items, things that scream, oh, that's a girl item. And, when nobody was in the house, I'd wear them. I wore them around the house, I'd prance around, and it was nice. I even had a hiding spot for these because I'm like, I don't want my parents to find out. I don't want them to find them. I don't want to have to explain that. And I hid them in. I had gone hiking I had a backpack for hiking, and they stayed in that, in the hiking backpack, in the same corner. So I knew nobody would look in there and see, because it'd be like, oh, that's just his backpack. And so it stayed in there. But and then some of the other things is, like, I hated my body hair. I hated it when it came in. I could not stand it. I was just like horrified, like, why do I have to have all this body hair? Even though I didn't have that much compared to like some of the other boys, it was just, I hated it. I didn't like the armpit hair, I didn't like the chest hair, the leg hair, none of it. I somewhat like the beard, but not really, because at the same time it was hair again, and I did not like it. Um, and especially when the pubic hair came in, I really did not like that. And I'm like, why? Why do we have to have this? Why is this a thing? And I took general sex ed, but at the same time, when it's happening to you, you're just like, you don't, it doesn't process until it starts happening. And I think the biggest marker for me was when I was, when was that? It was probably freshman year. We were out in the courtyard having lunch. And, I've told this story before, but say it again. But I was out there with some of my friends, and there were several girls in the group, of course, because that's how I connected with people. And the pants crinkled in such a way that it looked like I had a boner. And they started just wailing on me and just, oh, look at him, and they made fun of me very hard that day. And I remember running to the boys' restroom and just getting in one of the stalls and crying that day, because it just hurt me so much, because I didn't want these things. I remember going through my teenagehood, and anytime I would get one, it'd be like I'd try to press it down and get rid of it, because I hated it. I hated having one. And it was like, why do I get these? What purpose could this serve? Why? So all of this gave me lots of distress, and I never knew why. And I mean, I think I knew why, because when I was like 13, 12, give or take, it's an episode of Mario Puppets that came on about transvestites. And it was his episode where he was like, okay, is this a woman or is this not a woman? And you had to guess which one was cis and which one wasn't. And this intrigued me so much. It was just like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, there's an alternative for me. And at the time, the internet was just kind of blossoming. This was like 93. And so I went to go look this up. The only things that would come up, of course, would be porn. And, I tried to learn what I could from that, which it wasn't very educational, let me tell you. And it was just like, okay, well, I'm learning some about the girls, but I don't know anything about what a transvestite is. So it ended up that my parents saw the search history, and, well, needless to say, they confronted me about it, and they were like, what, are you interested in this? What is this? You want to be a girl? And are you gay? What's going on? And it was like, at that point, it just humiliated me and broke me down at that point that I couldn't say anything. I couldn't, admit at that point that, yeah, I'm kind of interested, but it was not something that I could tell my parents at that point that I was interested in it and, kind of felt that way. But that's how it ends up for some of us. So that is my childhood. And I think I'll do a part 2 of this, kind of going through college and onward, because there's a little bit in there, but it's not like my childhood that really, I can tell you, shaped me and influenced me. So please be kind to your friends. Don't make fun of them. Biggest thing is, you see bullying, stop it. Because I can tell you from my point of view that it hurt me. It tore me down a lot. And made it so that I didn't want to come out for a long time. Because I had known for at least 5 years before I came out that this was an option, that this was something I could do, that this is something how I identified, but I couldn't tell anybody because I felt so trapped by society. So be your authentic selves, be who you feel you are, be who you identify as, and express yourself that way. Because I really believe that we're kind of in a changing period where you can literally be who you want to be. Because that's what we all want in life. We want happiness and to feel like who we are. So have a great day, and I will give you another video next. If you like this, please subscribe, hit the little notification button, hit the thumbs up, give me a comment, and feel free to share this. Bye.